is Joy News Prime.
It's 46 days to the general elections. This is your election headquarters. Hello and welcome to Joy News Prime. I'm Araba Kumsin. Coming up tonight, woes of the 12 flag bearer aspirants who were disqualified from contesting the December 7 election seem unending, as the police CID likely to go after those who failed to report themselves before close of day Friday. Meanwhile,
a delegation
the
from the
National Democratic Institute urges the Electoral Commission to make a quick determination on its methodology and mechanism for the transmission of results on election day. Chief of Mare justifies why chiefs must have the right to endorse presidential candidates despite protests from political analysts. It's not the prudent thing to do.
And in business, World Bank insists the recent financial support for Ghana is critical for the country to quickly exit its debt crisis and drift towards economic recovery.
Also in this bulletin, famine looms in the Akachi North district of the Volta region as farmers there battle an armyworm infestation that has destroyed 6 acres of maize and cassava farms within the last 24 hours. This bulletin is also live on ABN television across Europe, DSTV and GoTV. Stay with us. You're welcome again to Joy News Prime. Let's go back to the Upper West region where the Joy News voter education program is still ongoing, the ballot box.
It was just like the putting on the bitumen and the coal or whatever it is, the chipping. And we left power. As I speak to you, it is still there. Meanwhile, there were from Wa Central to Siri, that is the from Wa Central to Siri, which is the beginning of Wa West. We tied the road up to where we left it, and as I speak, it's still like that. Unfortunately, during the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, his State of the Nation's address this year, he said the road from Wa has been tied up to Dormo. You pass there. Have you seen any tie road? Have you seen any tie road? And let me tell you, apart from that, Wa West was a place that you could not move, especially from Dabo linking up to Wa. It was no-go area. But we link it up during my time. If you go to, what do you call it, Naha area, there are communities from Paintown to Naha to Dairi. From Wichaba to Kilayiri, from Wichau to Dodoma, from Wichau to Takal. You are not people of Huawei. You sit down and listen. You have not done anything. For 4 years, we were just 4 years. 4 years. 4 years. So we can do better if we are given the opportunity. 8 years, we can do better.
Speaking to the mic. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you. Thank you. Take your seat for me. I want to speak to Felix. Felix, yes. Felix. You represent the PPP in Wawes.
Yes.
When you drive on the roads, you see how bad they are.
Facts are
2 minutes.
Facts are facts. MPP and DC can never fix West Roads problems. I'm saying this because late Professor Mills 2009 came and cut a saw from Siri Yiri, was on board to Dormo up to date. Apart from broken culvert, nothing has been done on that road. So if I am given the nod, I'm going to lobby with NGOs that are, well, I am saying it. I said that NDC MPP cannot fix our road problems today, tomorrow.
Allow him to make his point.
It's a fact.
Allow him to make his point. Allow him to make his point.
It's a rented crowd from what? That is why they don't allow us to talk. That is why they don't allow us.
Allow him to make his point. Sir, you say you're going to bring NGOs.
Yes, I'm going to lobby with NGOs, development.
Which NGOs are into road construction?
In fact, you can lobby even international NGOs. You can get them and lobby even with the government.
No, hold on.
So that is one of the issues.
Hold on. Which NGOs are into road construction that you intend to bring on?
Yes, I'm saying that even international NGOs, I can lobby with them. I have
just
the lobby skills.
Give me one.
You have not asked me a question, my brother. So I said, look, I said international. Once I'm giving the government purchasing power, I can lobby with any NGOs. Any of them, they can come. Once they agree that they are coming to help fix a road for me, they will come, no matter the name or the organization. Okay. This is the point I'm driving at. That apart.
Okay. Finally.
That apart. If you look at the roads, they are all making noise because they are living in West Central. West Central roads, we comment the West Central MP. But if you take a road,
you also commend the West Central MP.
Of course, okay. Because he's doing a good job for West Central. But then, you see, that is the nature. You see, that is the nature. That is the nature of the human beings. Now that I did not whip him, they are clapping hands. But when I was whipping him, they were shouting.
Thank you very much.
Yes. You see, what I'm saying is that if you pass through the Yahoo Road to Dormo, you will weep. From Yahoo going to Pila, you will weep. And the roads, we all know that without roads, you cannot carry out economic activities. Even if a patient is sick, how to send the patient from the remote community to Wuchao town here is a hell.
Thank you very much,
When we don't take time, the lady will die on the road or either lose the baby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me hear from Isaku Suleiman quickly on this.
Thank you very much. On the issue of roads, permit me to commend or to give glowing tribute to one of our sons who was an MP and a Minister of Roads, Honorable Edward Salia. He's the only person who has demonstrated uniquely amongst all the MPs that we've ever had. Nyaliankaya, ka Honorable Edward Salia, muna venyele ku, onala nie, MP ni japu ontenyane, bantuan demonstrate umonga, atuan amal swe akutiri nga. Nyalianga Anansola, the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Owecha Wayalea, can mistaken on the road minister, Kadu Kutibiye Mga, Charity Yurisoyala, Aleonopiano. It's worrying. Kajine teaching. Because wala ambabang asphalt jung. Kanya wajinche. Ayalaka asphalt. Ende kuriti. Asphalt nane bande endete nuo. Asphalt nane bala.
Okay. Final.
So those were excerpts from the ongoing voter education program, Joy News voter education program, ballot box being held at Wechiao in the Upper West region. We're taking a short break now. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. Now, the National Democratic Institute has called on the Electoral Commission to make a quick determination on its methodology and mechanism for the transmission of results on Election Day. The Institute made this recommendation as part of its pre-election report on Ghana. This is the second time the Commission is being asked to make its mode of transmission more transparent after the New Patriotic Party made similar calls last week. Speaking at a press briefing to present the report, Senior Associate at the Institute, Dr. Christopher Fomunyo, also urged the Commission to have regular engagements with parties. Joy News' Joseph Akablay has more in this report.
A delegation from the Institute interacted with the Electoral Commission, political parties, civic organizations, journalists, and representatives of the international community to collate views for the report. The delegation was present in the country between October 17 and 21 this year. Presenting the report, Senior Associate at the Institute, Dr. Christopher Fomunyo, called for clarity on system for results transmission to ensure confidence in the electoral process.
The EC should continue to enhance transparency and confidence in the electoral process by expanding and intensifying its engagement with all stakeholders and undertaking more vigorous and direct public outreach with voters in urban and rural areas. The EC should make a quick determination on its methodology and mechanism for the transmission of results on Election Day and communicate same to political parties, IPAC, the media, civil society, and the public at large.
The NDI is also urging political parties to commit to peaceful polls before the election.
Political parties should reaffirm their commitment to peaceful polls as reflected in the ADA communique of May 2016. Political parties should reactivate the Code of Conduct signed in 2012 and reaffirm their commitment to credible and violence-free polls. Party leaders and members at the national, regional, district, and local levels should lead campaigns to this effect.
Former boss of the South African Independent Electoral Commission, Dr. Brigalia Bamba, who is part of the Institute's delegation, took advantage of the platform to commend the judiciary for asking justices of the courts to hear electoral disputes from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
There is just one comment probably we should make, is that the court case that took place yesterday, not only is it the time frame, it's the time frame that is tight. And I think one of the things that have brought a lot of joy to us was that the judiciary is aware of that. And I think it's a sign with the judiciary that they have to meet and make a decision. And we like that cooperation very much from the judiciary, because whatever decision that they make is going to make an impact on what is going to happen in the next few days. And that is very important.
The Institute intends to present its report to political parties and the Electoral Commission.
Now, the woes of the 12 flag-bearer aspirants who were disqualified from contesting the December 7 elections seem an ending Many of them have been racing against time to meet the deadline by the police to turn themselves in or risk being arrested. The Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service issued the ultimatum to the flag bearers Friday, October 21st. This follows a formal request from the EC to the CID to investigate the infractions, including double signatures that breached Article 53 of the Constitution, CI 94 of the Election Regulation, the Criminal Offences Act, among other laws. My colleague Hannah Odame earlier spoke to the Public Relations Officer of the CID, ASP Joseph Benefo-Darkwah.
On the 13th of October 2016, we received a formal request or petition from the EC's office with regard to some breaches of the electoral laws. It has to do with double registration, and it has to do with some signatures which were purportedly signed by other people. So the case was referred to CID for investigation. The case was referred to us for investigation. So we invited those concerned, but surprisingly, some of them have calmed. Some we have granted bail, and investigation is ongoing, but surprisingly, quite a number of them have not come. So, as my Director General said, I think they have had enough time to have reported, but since they are not reporting, we may be compelled to arrest them for them to come and assist with investigation.
Do you have you said you may be compelled to at the end of today, or which day?
Probably at the end of today, but my information even as of now is that some of them have started the reporting, and some of them have also indicated that they will be coming from this afternoon. And so we hope that they report. But if they don't, I think you agree with me that we have given them ample time to report. Maybe we have to act. So if by the close of the day, those who have not given any reasonable cause for not reporting, we will be compelled to go after them.
So that's ASP Benefo-Darkwah, he's PRO for the police CID. We're billed to speak to him for an update on investigations, but we have been unable to reach him. But let's go on the lines and speak to the Independent People's Party flag bearer, Kofi Apalu. He's one of those who was expected to report to the police. He joins us on the line. Good evening and many thanks for your time, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Okay.
Good. Earlier, when we spoke to you, you indicated that you would report yourself to the police before close of day. Have you done so? And tell us what happened.
Actually, like I said earlier on, I went to the police on my own. I was not invited to come to the police because I had earlier, that's on the 13th of this month, sent the 3 subscribers in question to the police for them to begin their own investigation. So I was going to the police today only for the report, the police report, to enable me to take the EC to court.
Well, but what transpired when you, reported to the police CID today?
Yeah, when I went there, the police told me the report is not ready, and they are waiting for the other candidate who is claiming that the people signed for, because they've been calling him on several occasions, and I've been telling the police that he will be coming, and he's not coming forth. He promised them he will be coming on Wednesday. They waited, they didn't come, and they've given him up to 5 o'clock today, but he has not come. So it's hardly for them to give me the report until they find him.
So what happens next going forward? What are you going to do? One of your subscribers has been named, and police are looking for him to investigate the matter. What are you going to do moving forward?
No, all the subscribers have given themselves to the police. All the 3 subscribers, they all went to the police, and the police interrogated them and asked them to come back the next day, that is 14th, that's last week, and they shown up. So the subscribers, no issue with them because they have availed themselves. But the other candidate, that presidential candidate, who claims that this people will sign for him also, is the one who is running away from the police.
All right, many thanks. That is presidential or flag bearer rather of the Independent People's Party, Kofi Akpaloo there. Let's still stay with politics because the chief of Mare in the Ashanti region has downplayed the disquiet expressed by some Ghanaians about chiefs endorsing presidential candidates in the run-up to the December 7th elections. Speaking on Pulse Friday afternoon, the chief, who is also a founding member of the NPP, said chiefs also have rights and must be allowed to express those rights.
Chiefs have a role. We had a role a long time ago, before the white men came in Ashanti to dislodge us from, the power that we had. And they introduced politics into our country, and it's been taken over by them.
You say that there's nothing wrong if chiefs say that they are in support of one candidate or another.
Active partisan politics.
Well, endorsement is an element in active participation in partisan politics. Because if you say someone should be voted for, that's like campaigning for the person.
Endorsement, I see endorsement that this man has the capability, this man is endowed enough to lead the country. And that is your personal feeling. If you go further and stand on the platform and say that because I feel that you should vote for him, and then you force your subjects that if you don't vote for him, I will eject you from my, my consistency or what have you, then, you'll be going against the tenets of the
but you may not
telling me that somebody is my friend, and assuming he's picking a wife, and I say he's a good man, I don't think that's going beyond there. I think active party politics is mounting a platform, going out there to campaign. But you are in your palace and somebody comes there, and the person,
But political analyst Joe Jackson says, considering the role chiefs are supposed to play when the political system breaks down, it's not prudent for them to engage in active politics.
To have chiefs who can step in if our partisan politics breaks down and act as impartial peacemakers. Now that's very key. That was the thought behind, and to retain the dignity behind the chieftaincy. Now, because of that, the framers of the Constitution say, do not come out and engage in partisan politics. Now, listen, a chief is a Ghanaian as much as any one of us, right? I don't know anything about any of our chiefs, but each chief I will expect should vote. He's a Ghanaian, and it is both your right and your responsibility to vote, which means that we expect that each of them will have an opinion. If I go to a chief and he expresses his opinion to me in private, I have absolutely no problem with that. But in public, when a chief in a public function says to his people, definitely, I want you to vote for this person, that is as partisan as you can get. If the chiefs don't like it, they should go and get the constitution changed. But the constitution as it is today says clearly you cannot engage in partisan politics. In the privacy of your home, in the privacy of your palace, in the privacy of meetings wherever, you can express an opinion, and we even expect you to vote. But I'll be upset if, for example, the Chief Justice of this country, in a public forum,
we should vote for someone.
Yes.
Now, it will be unthinkable and unacceptable for any political party to ask macho men to police ballot boxes during the December 7 elections. That's a strong warning from the Ashanti Regional Police Commander, COP Kofi Boakye. He warns against any political party allocating the power of the state to themselves. COP Nathan Kofi Boakye was speaking at the inauguration of a hostel accommodation facility for the police in the Ashanti region.
We are going to be firm and fair to all parties, and we are not going to tolerate any group of people who want to arrogate to themselves the power of policing, that we are going to send macho men to police ballot box. That is unthinkable. It can never happen. This democracy is almost 16 or so years. Even during 2 100,000, where there has been a government for 19 or so years. Nobody sent pulling macho men to police bosses, but there was a change of government. There hasn't been change in the police. It's the same police from revolution to this time. So what makes people think that the police will change? We are the same police. The fact that election is coming does not mean that any Tom, Dick and Harry can arrogate to himself the power of the state. The power that the Constitution has granted the police is non-negotiable, and it will never be compromised for anybody or for any reason. Peace depends much on the political parties and the press. The press, misinformation, misinterpretation, outright lies, falsehood, sometimes motivated by vindictiveness and sometimes motivated by self-aggrandizement. We are not going to tolerate. Ghana is for all of us, and the Constitution has given the police the mandate to protect each and every one, and we are not going to delegate that power to any macho man, whether from NDC or from MPP, from PPP, from GCDPP or whatever.
You're welcome back. Time for business now, and Emmanuel Aboajiri joins us with details. Take it away, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, Araba, and thanks for joining me on business. The World Bank insists the recent financial support for Ghana is critical to enable the country quickly exit the debt crisis towards economic recovery. The bank recently signed a $700 million security guarantee with government in respect of the sale of gas produced by the Sankofa Jinyame gas project. Some analysts have since raised concerns the bank's decision would rather plunge Ghana into further debt crisis, considering the country's debt-to-GDP ratio, which crossed the 70% mark in September this year. But speaking with Joy Business, Country Director for Ghana, Liberia and Sierra Leone, Henry Kerali, said this is actually the best time to step in with such support. He adds it expects Ghana to urgently reform its economy.
The economy is struggling. This is the time that the World Bank group as a whole comes in as a partner, because countries like Ghana will find it much more difficult to access funds from capital markets. In other words, it will be much more expensive for Ghana to go to capital markets. The World Bank Group has a fixed standard rate regardless of the shape of your economy. So it is in times of difficulties when the World Bank Group is really needed by countries like Ghana.
There's no free lunch. What are you expecting in return?
In return, we expect reforms. We expect Ghana to implement reforms to improve efficiencies, first of all, in the various sectors. Let's take energy. We expect much more efficient production of electricity. We expect much more efficient distribution of electricity. We know, for example, that right now the distribution company, ECG, has losses of about 30%, technical losses and commercial losses. So we will work with ECG, we'll work with the government to try and reduce those losses and make sure that much of the energy that is produced actually ends up in powering our homes and industries.
You're welcome back to Joy News Prime. Now, the Judicial Service Staff Association, JUSAG, has extended its threat to embark on a nationwide strike, giving government up to the end of the month to rectify problems with its new conditions of service. The group had earlier threatened to strike over what they say is government's failure to implement its consolidated salaries as recommended by the Judicial Council. In 2012, the Judicial Council, after reviewing the conditions of service of staff of the Judicial Service, concluded in 2015 that the allowances and salaries of the staff should be consolidated into one salary, but government failed to implement this recommendation. As a result, on Friday, May 20th, 2016, it declared an indefinite strike nationwide, which was called off after entering into agreements with the government. But speaking to the media on Friday, President of JUSAG, Alex Nate, said the extension of the ultimatum is because government has shown good faith by approving their conditions of service, even though there are still problems that need to be resolved.
The indication is that our conditions of service proposed by the Judicial Council have been approved by the President. When we took a close look at it, we saw some shortfalls. There are gaps in the document presented to the Council. USAC had wanted to decline to accept it, but in line with negotiation principles, since the Judicial Council is the constitutional body to determine our conditions of service, we have told the Judicial Council that it should go back to the President for the corrections to be made. And so Council has accepted to go back to government to ensure that the gaps contained in the document have been resolved. And so we have to come back to give you an update. The update is that some response have been brought. It is incomplete. And so we have given Council up to the end of the month to conclude work on the corrections to enable us take off.
Nurses at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital are giving hospital authorities and government a one-week ultimatum to provide medical supplies to the facility to help cater for aggressive inmates threatening to lay down their tools if their request is not met. According to the nurses, a recent attack on one of their members by an inmate due to inadequate medication has triggered their action.
The Accra Psychiatric Hospital has for the past years been bedeviled by a myriad of challenges. Inadequate funds, deplorable structures and the lack of medical supplies have led the hospital to depend on the benevolence of the public. The latest concern from nurses, however, is an attack on a nurse by a patient who was inadequately medicated last week. According to spokesperson of the nurses, Philip Otri, the victim, who had undergone cesarean section before delivery, was hit in her abdomen by an aggressive inmate, leaving her with injuries.
We don't have access to the essential medications we need to manage the psychiatric patients. Now, we are complaining because we have recorded so many instances of aggressive behavior towards staff, which has resulted in injuries. That is why we are complaining that we can't hold it any longer. Even this week, at the female observation ward, a patient used her hand to kick the abdomen of a nurse. And then the unfortunate aspect of it is that the nurse is a nursing mother. She delivered by means of CS. So unfortunately, the hit also affected the incisional site. Later in the day, in the evening, when the lady went home, she realized that she was bleeding.
He was unhappy lack of medical supplies is hindering their work. The nurses are therefore giving authorities and government a one-week ultimatum to address their concerns, without which the group will lay down their tools.
We have had series of meetings with management, and then to the extent that we have also had series of meetings with the mental health authorities. They keep on assuring us that we should exercise some bit of restraint because of the shortage of the medications. It borders on life and death. That is why we are calling on government that we cannot continue to be in the heat. We've given them 1 week ultimatum, which will expire next week Friday. If by then what we need have not been provided, what we are going to do is that we are going to withdraw our services totally.
The group says they can no longer expose themselves to preventable occupational risks due to the lack of basic medical supplies.
Let's go to the Volta region, where famine looms in the Akachi North district as farmers there battle an armyworm infestation on their farms. About 6 acres of maize and cassava farms have already been destroyed in 3 communities within the last 24 hours. The occurrence has crippled the hopes of these farmers who depend solely on their farms to support their livelihoods.
The worms, which were first seen in Fiavisenyi, are quickly spreading to other communities like wildfire. Farmers in Afihevi and Atiglima have also raised alarm of armyworms invading their farms. Aheta Wisdom Ametepe who is the caretaker of this farm, suffered the shock of his life when he visited the 2-acre maize farm Thursday morning, only to find out virtually everything on the farm had been consumed by the worms.
6 o'clock. I came here in the morning and realized the whole farm had vanished. I checked and saw the worms around. I quickly went for a pesticide and sprayed the farm and mine, which is at the other end. The worms consumed everything on the farm and are spreading to other neighboring farms. If care is not taken, we won't have any harvest this farming season.
However, due to the swift intervention of the district assembly, other farms in the area have been saved. The assembly, together with the Zoomlion fumigation team, mobilized some pesticide and logistics to spray farms in the affected area. The assembly has also directed all assembly members to send message to communities in their respective jurisdiction to put farmers on the alert. The district chief executive, James Gunu, indicated the assembly has already put together a compensation package for the victims of the armyworms infestation.
We will ensure that we doesn't occur again. We will make sure that before the farming season, whatever chemicals that they are supposed to use on their farms to ensure that their farms are not invaded by armyworm is given.
The Volta Regional Coordinator of the National Disaster Management Organization, Samuel Miles Baka, cautioned farmers in the area to be extra vigilant and endeavor to keep their farms tidy to prevent the worms from breeding on their farms.
You don't leave weeds to overtake your farm. And then you must watch from other communities and observe your farm. That when I come to the farm today, I saw some insects biting. What do I do? So that as soon as you see that one, report it to the Ministry of Agric or NADMO. They will join up with the district chief executive and others and then quickly attack it. And this is how you observe. You always have to observe your farm. If this doesn't come, there's another one called stem borers. They also stick in. They are also more dangerous. They will destroy the whole this thing. You see it like this, but they bore into the stem and finish it.
Armyworms are active during the evening. They eat anything green in sight and are said to multiply at a fast.
Time for entertainment now, and the lovely Miss G joins us in the studio now. Hi, Miss G.
Hello,
It's been a while.
It's been a while. You've been away. It's good to see you too, Raba.
Yes,
but I've got some news for you because the late Omahini Pozo, who passed away somewhere in July, will be laid to, I think it's July or August, one of them. He'll be laid to rest at the end of this month, on the 30th of October. He'll be buried.
Sad news.
Yes, he'll be buried in Adenta here in Accra. So we'll get to bring excerpts from the funeral ceremony to our viewers.
May he continue to rest in peace.
Exactly, we pray so. So today on Pulse with Francis Zaban, J. Blay Ambele was on, and he made some
interesting revelations.
I don't know, I was about to say damaging revelations, He talked about, he came with a cigar in his hands, and so throughout the interview, he had a cigar in his hands, and he was enjoying himself holding the cigar. So Francis was prompted to ask him a lot of questions about cigarettes and whether he smokes. He talked about smoking.
What's that?
He was saying himself back. Also, another interesting thing he spoke about was the fact that he thinks that Manifest and Sarkodie have got nothing on him.
I can't help but notice that there's something you're holding this afternoon. What is it?
Oh, you talking about a cigar?
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is it's a cigar anyway.
It's a cigar.
Yeah.
Is that what you smoke all the time?
Not into it that much, but regularly I'm trying to do something with it.
Okay. Is that the only thing you smoke?
There are so many things that man smokes anyway.
Like what?
Cigarettes are there. You're talking about the natural leaf is there.
Where the natural leaf is?
I don't know why you're asking me, because natural leaf is what I think you know what is called natural leaf.
Is it marijuana?
Yes.
Okay.
It is there. Cigars are there. Some do what we call it cinnamon and all that. You know, people have their own motives, you know, of doing what they want to do, because, you know, life is a gift. What is given to you, what is good for you,
you take it.
Yeah, if it's not good for you, you leave it.
You leave it. So, smoking is good for you?
At some point in time, yes, because of what I've been able to accrue out of that.
What have you accrued out of it?
The sensibilities of how you relate by looking at something and the relationship between you and that thing, whether it's going to be good for you or it's going to be bad for you. You know, it opens up so many things.
We've seen rappers come and go. Today, the two you can easily point to will be Sarkodie and Manifest. Do they match up to the kind of work you do?
No, they don't match up to what I do, because I am the originator. I am the tree. They are branches of the tree. And don't forget that sometimes branches fall and the tree will grow another branch. But the tree is always standing. I am the tree. What they're doing, it's what I can say, it's an elevation of what we were doing, but they have missed the mark.
Missed the mark?
Yes.
In terms of what?
Because every country has a culture. If you want to do something by portraying what you have to the rest of the world, you have to carry what you have from your country. Listen to the background of most of the music that they do. They always choose American rhythms, always choose rhythms that come from outside the vicinity of Ghana. And they rap to it, because they've been looking too much Jay-Z's, you know, and Tupacs and all of them, so they want to act like them.
Time for sports now, and Gary Al Smith joins me with all the latest. Hello, Gary.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
End of the week, aren't you happy?
Well, it's all right.
Okay, we're looking forward to the weekend. But tell us, what's in sports?
Yes, quite a lot, and so I'll take it away now. Thank you very much, Araba, and thank you for joining me on the week's final edition of the Sport on Prime. Hi, I'm Gary Al Smith. The Black Queens are still stepping up preparations for next month's African Women's Championships. That's the female version of the African Cup of Nations. Our reporter Abigail Susu was at the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence, and she brought us this report.
Coach Yusuf Bazigi, ahead of this tournament, invited 25 local and 9 foreign players to begin camping for the tournament. The team was busily training under the tutelage of assistant coach Rashid Idi when the Joy Sports team got to the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence. Though not the best of pitches at their disposal, Coach Idi tried to get the best out of the ladies. He took the ladies through ball possession and interpassing skills. The 4 goalkeepers who are currently in camp were also putting finishing touches to their skills under the stern eyes of acting goalkeepers trainer Najal Issa. The team was later taken through scoring regiments as the goalkeepers also tried to prevent such goal-scoring opportunities. Captain Safia Rahman and Faisal Ibrahim were excused from the training sessions due to knocks they sustained in their earlier sessions and watched steadily as their colleagues trained. Goal poacher Samira Suleiman, formerly of Azakas Ladies and now with Vikinga Olasvik in Iceland, is happy with the team's preparation.
I would say so far so good. The preparation has been very fantastic. When you look at practice, we train twice a day. Some days we go to Tema, the AstroTurf, and we train on it. So far I would say the preparation has been very good.
The Black Queens of Ghana will be making their 11th appearance at the African Women's Championship, hoping to win a laurel for the first time. The tournament, which is set to commence on November 19th to December 3rd in Cameroon, consists of 2 groups. Host nation Cameroon, together with Egypt, South Africa and Zimbabwe, make up Group A. And Ghana will be in Group B with defending champions Nigeria, Mali and new entrant Kenya.
We'll be following their preparations here on the Joy Sports team. In the Ghana Premier League, the season hasn't yet started, but the old one has ended. Heart of Oak did not finish well, even though they started so promisingly, and Japanese-American Kenichi Achuhachi. Now, Hearts fans are pleading with the management not to appoint a foreign-based coach. You would recall that after Kenichi's departure, Hearts went through a series of stopgap coaches only to settle on Portuguese manager Sergio Traguel. That experiment did not end well.
Hearts of Oak as a Ghanaian team, I don't think this is the time that we put an African and a foreigner on the road and decide who should coach Hearts of Oak. Meanwhile, Hearts of Oak is our own team. We need a home man. Why don't we believe in ourselves? We are Ghanaians. Sometimes we should trust the African people. Do you understand me? We are always dependent on foreign goods, foreign rice, foreign water, foreign person. Massa. So why do we call ourselves Africans? If we can't do everything out of our zeal, then Black Stars will even be played by foreign people. I don't even understand why we are doing this. The black man must rule. Let's test ourselves. Let's trust ourselves. Let's believe we have people who can. That is the thing. Why are we always comparing ourselves to the white men, white people? We are still saying we are independent. No, the black man must rule because he has got what, like he has a physical scene. He has seen what Hearts of Oak can do, and he has witnessed a lot of their matches.
When your Preco is doing well, so it's better to maintain your Preco. You see, the problem in this country is we do not respect our local coaches. That is the problem that we have. We do not respect our local coaches. If we give the local coaches the chance, let's say 3-4 years, for them to be able to know the team very well, they will do marvelously. So Hearts of Oak should maintain their Preco, and they shouldn't go in for a foreign coach. It will not help them.
Well, their best is what they want. So whomever they want is just good, but I just prefer them taking somebody who is a black person, who can be able to like open up the heart, do everything that we the blacks want.
All right, I'm Araba Kumsin. Thanks for staying with us throughout the week. Join us for all our programs over the weekend as well. Have a lovely weekend.
This is Joy News Prime.